Nothing is real to me, damn it. Episode 3, Season 2. We're going to lead with the road to WrestleMania. Why? Well, because I got some stuff to say about the generations of wrestling fans. So, during this current run leading up to WrestleMania, there's been a lot of hype surrounding the promos of The Rock and Cody Rhodes, and specifically some of the things they've been saying, some of the language they've been using. And it's been bringing up is the Attitude Era coming back. And a lot of the older generation, I hate to pigeonhole anybody, but it is people who are a little bit older than me. They're complaining about it'll never be the same as black, and I don't see it that way because really I grew up watching 80s NWA wrestling, and they had plenty of plenty of things that didn't happen in the ring that built up the story. Like I remember one time specifically, the Four Horsemen found Dusty Rhodes like out running errands or something like that. Then chased him down to another parking lot and then beat him in the parking lot. So I mean, obviously that's not in ring storytelling. It's a soap opera. Like I always say, it's a soap opera with live stunts. Now, what I really think the complaint is amongst the people who want to bring back the Attitude Era, they mostly just want the women's division to go back to being eye candy, and they can't say that. So they're like, it's not as good now. It's like, no, you just want some soft core with your wrestling, and it's like, no, wrestling fans want to see wrestling. And we like watching the women's division matches, not to ogle at them, but because we want to see a wrestling match. You know what I mean? And and if you're down that bad, then maybe you should be doing something other than watching wrestling. But I digress. As far as what people want to call this new era, I think NXT might have already nailed that with one of their recent episode titles, Attitude Adjustment Era. I feel that's fitting because they're using a little bit different language, but they're also acting a little bit different at WWE now. Just on the most recent episode of NXT, Booker T was talking about the OC, aka the Good Brothers, and mentioned how they were IWGP champions and Impact Tag champions, and I was like, oh wow, awesome. It is very much not Vince's WWE, and I am 100% here for it. As for the rest of WWE, I really haven't been watching that much because I know that it's all just hype for WrestleMania, and I personally am already very hyped for WrestleMania. I don't need it, so I've been focusing more on watching like the New Japan Cup, which, like any tournament in wrestling, it's used to build up the roster. And if you don't know, what I mean by that is to make some of the lower mid card and mid card people look a little bit tougher. It makes your whole roster look better. And it builds a new star. And spoiler alert, pausing for you to stop in case you want to. Building new stars is exactly what they did with the New Japan Cup, and they protected their current stars, particularly David Finlay. I don't want to speculate that he isn't actually sick with some sort of illness that they haven't disclosed yet, to my knowledge. But if you wanted to get David Finlay out of the tournament without having him take another crucial loss, you would just say sick. And build up your three-time champion to face off against a guy who's very much poised to take over now that Okada's gone in Yota Tsuji, and that's what we have. Yota Tsuji with the well-deserved victory in the New Japan Cup final, and I am very excited for Sakura Genesis. It's not the only big wrestling show on WrestleMania weekend. There's a lot of stuff from GCW. There's a lot of stuff from everybody, and I will get into as much of that as I can, but I'm already approaching the 5-minute mark. Gonna run a little long with this one, but that's okay. We're gonna have Shingo Takagi versus Evil for the never open weight title, Yo versus Sho for the junior heavyweight title, and of course, Tetsuya Naito versus his stablemate Yota Tsuji for the IWGP Heavyweight title. It's going to be very good. And obviously, WrestleMania is going to be great. Even some of the undercard matches, like, I mean, AJ Styles versus LA Knight is going to be very cool. There's nothing on the line. It's just going to be an entertaining match. The Usos going at it. It's going to be... Pause. Sorry. I have to. Jimmy and Jay Uso. It's going to be really good. And Seth versus Drew. I think Drew's going to win. Nothing against Seth, but hear me out. I think Drew's going to win. Damien's going to come in, cash in, take his moment from him. And now we've sparked a whole long feud with Drew McIntyre and Damian Priest and the rest of the Judgment Day because they took his moment from him. Now he's justified in front of the fans for all that rage. And he gets to go, I told you, see, I'm right. I'm still right. He gets to play anti-hero. That's what I think is going to happen. As for what's going to happen with The Rock and Cody Rhodes, yeah, man, I'm sensing a double turn perhaps, but I think Cody and The Rock have been in cahoots this whole time. That's what I think it's going to boil down to. And as for GCW, I got to wrap this thing up because I got to feed the new puppy. But I'm excited for Bloodsport 10. Nick Nemeth versus Mike Bailey. Masha Slamovich versus Shayna Baszler, and there's supposed to be other WWE people announced for maybe just that event at GCW Collective or just the whole collective as it is. There's 11 events during GCW Collective. A lot of wrestling on WrestleMania weekend, and even locally, Greer, South Carolina's Pro Wrestling Turbo is doing a show on April 7th. At Magnetic South Brewery. There's a lot of wrestling to watch, as always. Like, subscribe, follow. Leave a comment of what you're most excited about. Leave a comment of what you don't like about wrestling right now. And maybe I'll talk about it next time. But until next time, remember, nothing is real to me, damn it.